Hi guys, and welcome to the latest edition of Phyrefli's Video Digest. As always, thank you very much for watching. Now this week you've probably already noticed that there's no gameplay going on in the background, and the reason for that is very simple. The videos I recorded last week at Battlefield3Tournament.com, in my opinion, were not good enough to show as a background to a video. My gameplay was, to put it mildly, subpar. So rather than go ahead and show you something which I'm not happy with, I decided for this week to take the video digest back to the old way that it used to be done, with me talking to you straight through the camera. So I hope you enjoy going back to the old format. Please let me know through the comments in the comment section of the video. Do you prefer this format? Do you prefer to just listen to my voice with gameplay going on in front of you? Let me know. Now this week the news really must revolve around what's happened with hacks and hacking, and especially on some of the forums. The forum section we'll come to in a few minutes, but before I get to that, you may have noticed that three things happened almost at the same time this week which formed a classic perfect storm. Unfortunately, it was one perfect storm which really didn't do well for any innocent Battlefield 3 player. The main thing and the first thing that happened was that the new server software was released, version R19. So that's a 19th version of the server software for Battlefield 3. Now normally that would be a good thing. Yes, you would have perhaps 24 hours of lag as the server settled down, as the RSPs stop moving large files around their own network. All the servers are upgraded to the new version, and everyone's happy after roughly 24 hours when everything settles down as it should do. Unfortunately, whilst that was going on, Punkbuster, in their infinite wisdom, decided that they were going to release a new version of Punkbuster. Now, at the best of times, new versions of Punkbuster don't go down too well. I dare say you've had to manually update Punkbuster yourself. I also have had to in the past, and it's a pain in the backside, which really we shouldn't have to do. It's 2012. Get with the program. So Punkbuster released that at around the same time that R19 came out, and then to top all of that off, artificial aiming, those wankers from the cheat website, decided that they were going to do their third season of banning innocent players via the streaming services that work off Punkbuster. This time they chose GGC. Now at the moment there's a huge argument going on between GGC on the one hand and Punkbuster on the other hand as to who's to blame for this. Punkbuster have turned around and said, this has been done through streaming, nothing to do with us. Sorry guys, you're on your own. GGC have turned around and they've been supported by PB Bands, who is a streaming service that we use on our own server. And GCC have turned around and said, Punkbuster have known about the security hole for many, many years. We've told them about it. PB Bands have told them about it. Other streaming services have told them about it. Yet PB are too lazy to get off their backsides and fix it. What's the result of all this? Around 150, if not more, innocent BF3 players have been banned from Battlelog, from BF3, because Punkbuster or someone can't get their act together. It's atrocious, guys, honestly. You've legally paid for your game, you've legally played your game, and yet you end up being banned. I'm pretty sure that the people that that's happened to are not happy, and I sure as heck would not be happy if that had happened to me. So, whoever's fault it is, Punkbuster, at the very least, you owe it to these players to sort it out. And DICE and EA, you owe it to your fan base to look at what's happened and ensure that it doesn't happen again. If this is caused by the streaming sites such as GGC, and personally I don't believe it is, but if it is, those sites should be removed. If it's been Punkbuster, and most people seem to believe it is, and most of the fingers are pointing their way, then you need to look at Punkbuster very carefully and get them to sort themselves out, because it's not on. Now on the subject of hacks, I bounced out of bed this morning, popped into my office here, went onto Mordor's forums, or the EA UK Battlefield 3 forums, only to find they weren't working quite properly. Scrolled through a few threads. What did I find? They'd been hacked. somebody with the rather ununique name of Lover, nice one, has gone and hacked the forums. Now that's bad enough, because it's not just Battlefield 3 that's on there, it's Battlefield 3 and all the other EA games. That's one of EA's main forum sites. So it's major egg on EA's face, but it's also egg on multiplayer.co.uk's face, because they are the ones that host the forums for EA. And Multiplayer, as you may know, is one of the largest game server providers for the Battlefield series, and they work very closely with EA on providing feedback on what's happening with the latest iteration of the server software. So this is a huge problem for them. Now, these forums have been down or hacked for at least 6 hours, and at the time that I'm actually recording this video, they're still down. So if you're watching this on Mordor, hi again guys, nice to see the forums are back. If you're watching this somewhere else, go across to EA UK's forums to see if they're still down. In this day and age, really, seriously, it shouldn't be that easy for someone to get through the defences of a large company like Multiplayer. That is pretty serious, guys. Now, whilst we're on the topic of forums, there was one thread I read several days ago. I'll actually read out the title to you now so you see why I got excited about this thread. And the title was, VoIP coming up, what's the first thing you're going to say? And I read this and I thought, whoa, new news. We're getting VoIP on the PC, fantastic. Finally we can use it properly in game. Opened up the thread, trying to think of something witty to post for my first thing to say on VoIP. What do I realise? It's a PS3 thread. Now that actually pretty much wound me up, I've got to say, because the Battlefield 3 series started on the PC. It's a PC-centric series. It's always had those PC gamers who love the game, some cases hate the game, but can't help themselves playing, and we always come back. So why is it that we still not got in-game VoIP? It's just a crazy system. It's a crazy position for us to be in. Perhaps we'll get it in the future, but judging by some of Zinto's posts, I'm actually not convinced we're going to get it now. But that does lead me in nicely to one article which is very interesting, which I read on cadred.org, and I'll post a link to it in the description for this particular video. And what the article author was saying was that game sites, or rather competition sites like ESL, were starting to put quite a bit of money into cups for Battlefield 3. But they were doing that without anything like Battle Recorder or Spectate mode. Now ESL doesn't do games, or especially put money towards games, which don't have good anti-cheat protection. So the author's conjecture was, have ESL been talking to DICE, whereas DICE says something to ESL, which means that Battlefield 3 is going to get a Battle Recorder and a Spectate mode, because ESL wouldn't do this for other games, so why is it doing it for Battlefield 3? Now, it's an interesting article. Like I say, it's 3 pages. I'll put the link up in the video and the description for the video. Take a look at it, see what you think, see if you think it's as positive as I think it is, or just a whole bunch of hullabaloo from somebody who had more time to waste. But let me know. Anyway, that's it for this week. I do hope you enjoyed this edition. I hope you enjoy the fact it's to camera instead of with gameplay in the background. As always, please sub if you enjoy this. I always check every sub excuse me, that everyone does. If you've got a great channel, I'll sub back to you as well. In the meantime, enjoy Battlefield 3, have a good time, take care.